Zachary is diagnosed with hemimegalencephaly, which basically means is the right hemisphere of the brain is larger than the left. So a normal person's midline's here, his is about over here. So the right side of the brain is enlarged, and that's where the seizures are generated from. And the doctors recommended when he was born, after they diagnosed it, was they wanted to go in and remove the enlarged hemisphere because they were saying he would have uncontrolled seizures. And the only way to control those seizures would be to remove the enlarged hemisphere. So that's what they were planning on doing, but he didn't have uncontrolled seizures at first. Well, he's never had that. So they just like, after a few months, year, the doctor said, just keep doing what you're doing. He's who he is.
Right.
So and then we asked the questions, if they did remove the hemisphere, what would his quality of life be like after that? And it was pretty much said that he would be like a vegetable.
Right.
There wouldn't be much interaction. So we just take Zachary is who he is, and he's perfect the way he is, and he enriches our lives because of who he is. To escape, well, first of all, I say I just want to leave, take a vacation, go somewhere. But I try not to, early on, trying to escape meant just trying to get a break from the stresses that were new to me. Because when you have a child with a disability, life all of a sudden dramatically changes, as you know.
Yeah.
I mean, you think your life's going to go over here, and all of a sudden it's completely somewhere else. There was a poem written, and I can't remember who wrote it. It was called "Welcome to Holland," and the basic analogy of it is you're planning on going on a trip. You've been saving for years for it. You're just all excited about this trip. You're going to go to Italy, and you get books about Italy. You learn phrases of Italy and all that kind of stuff. You're all ready. The day comes to leave. You pack your bags. You jump on the airplane, and you're flying. And then after a while, the pilot says, "Sit down, buckle your seatbelts. We're landing." And all of a sudden, the plane lands safely, and the pilot gets on the intercom and says, "Welcome to Holland." And you're going, I didn't want to come to Holland. I wanted to go, I want to go to Italy.
Yeah.
I know Italy. I'm all ready for Italy. Got all this stuff and planned my trip. But there's no way to get from Holland to Italy. You're in Holland now. So it's learning to find new hope, new dream. Let the stuff from Italy go and enjoy where you're at. So for my escapes originally was I just found myself doing stuff to disconnect from the stresses that I've now learned to adjust to. But it was always to escape. And the escape things I did was work. I'd work extra. So, make extra money because that justified me being gone because the family needed it. Escape for a period of time. It was play video games. I play for 2 or 3 hours, and that was my escape. Trying to just keep myself busy, and the reason I keep myself busy because I didn't want to have to sit and deal with the emotional issues that Zachary brought up, and that Zachary brought up in my marriage and in my relationship with my other son Tyler. I didn't want to face those issues, so those were my escapes. As time has gone on, I've learned to take those escapes and allow them to be healthy things, like doing moderation, like playing soccer. When we play soccer, that was something healthy for me to do, physically and emotionally, but it didn't take a large chunk of time from the family. Hopes and fears. Well, they're different now than when Zachary was first born. Right? When he was first born, the greatest fear was he's going to die. He's going to, that was it. It was like, is he going to live? Is he going to die? Is he going to have uncontrolled seizures? And as time went on, we sort of realized, we can handle this. He was having occasional seizures, and he was surviving, and we were surviving. But it was, the fear has always been, is what does the future hold for Zachary? What's the future hold for us? And early on, it was those things you just like, you don't know. You know, 'cause you're 28 years old, 29, 30 years old, and you're just trying to make it through the day. So the fears are always the unknowns of what's out there. And I've found over time, especially with Dads for Special Kids and talking with other dads, is learning from their stories that there is hope and there is a good future out there with a child with a disability. You know, it's not tragedy, and it's learning to adjust your perception that having a child with a disability isn't a tragedy, that it is a blessing, and that you receive richer and you gain richness from that disability, because life is different because of that. And so my fear at the beginning was am I going to be able to accept that?
Yeah.
You know, am I going to be able to accept my son having a disability? You know, I'm not going to play football with him. I'm not going to play catch. He's never going to get married. You know, he's never going to graduate high school. He's always going to live with us. So that causes fear if you allow it, but if you allow it to give you hope for the future. What I hope to see is just Zachary enjoying the day. All he wants to do is be loved and loved. He wants to enjoy the day, be happy, watch his Thomas the Tank Engine or Barney or Blue's Clues or whatever the theme is for the day. You know, the theme for today was Mr. Rogers. You know, and it's like, he loves Mr. Rogers today, and let's enjoy it, and enjoy it because he's enjoying it. So I got the hope for him is that he will just live life as independently as he was made to be.
Yeah.
It may not be the independent as I live my life, but it's his independence and he's enjoying the day. And now we've learned, as time's moved on, is having hope for me and Kelly and our marriage. And where's life taking us? Because we believe that we're the perfect parents for Zachary, he's the perfect child for us. And with that is going to enhance our lives to be able to help others. You know, so that's our hope, is just growing into what God's given us and accepting it. Well, besides the trauma of birth,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden you think you're going to have a child, and all of a sudden you're like, the doctor goes, your child has a hemimegalencephaly, and you're like, what? And by the way, he's in a helicopter going to another hospital. That's traumatic. But the biggest significant event that really, I'll say, solidified me as a father and as the right father for Zachary was the night he had pneumonia, and we didn't know if he was going to live or die. And it was just, every breath was a struggle. And I was just sat on the floor, and I just put my hand on him. And for me, my faith is very important, and it's gotten me through so much, and has given me a greater appreciation for life, and realizing that I am the right dad for him, and he is the right child for me, that, you know, God doesn't make mistakes. I put my hand on him, and I told him it was okay to die. I said, it's all right. You know, it's all right if you can't make it. It's okay to die. And I'm bawling, and Kelly's sitting next to me, and she's crying. And it was like at that moment we allowed Zachary to die, and then he was given back to us. And with that came this hope for the future, and that every day is a new day, and we're content with today. We're not going to worry about the future, because today is all that really matters, because I can't control the future. So it was that moment when that occurred that we just, you know, let him go. And at that moment it was like we just, all the grief, all the worry, all the pain, all the stress was just dropped off. It just went away, and then it came back.